Well, maybe it's like Casey says. Fella ain't got a soul of his own, just a little piece of a big soul. The one big soul that belongs to everybody.
Human beings are walkers by nature. Living in the European capital of hikers, we have spent years seeing thousands of pilgrims who decide to take the path that takes them to the end of the earth. We have always wondered what their reasons for getting into this journey are. The answer can only be found along the trails. So we will travel the greatest walking routes in the world, searching for the soul of humanity, which, as Casey said, we belong to. The Great Way. Chapter 1, Pacific Crest Trail.
We are traveling to California to start one of the longest and most impressive routes in the world, the Pacific Crest Trail, a path that crosses the United States along the peaks of the West Coast through the states of California, Oregon, and Washington, and the vast Mojave Desert in a total of 2,650 miles. A real challenge only suitable for experienced hikers.
Los Angeles receives millions of visitors every year, but only a few hundreds come here to cross the entire West Coast on foot. The Pacific Crest Trail, or PCT, was born precisely in the 1930s, at the time of the great Hollywood studios, although then the fame was given to other types of routes. That January 24th looked like a summer day in Los Angeles. It's said that John Ford entered the theater when everyone was already seated, turned off the lights for the premiere of his film The Grapes of Wrath, and thus began the legend of the world's most famous road. Half a mile from the county fair, the rain came pouring down. Route 66 was traveled first by families fleeing misery, and then by those born to be wild, but always with asphalt and gasoline as main characters. Since then, walking has become almost an act of subversion. We just stood there getting wet with our backs against the fence.
Santa Monica is the symbolic end of Route 66. This place, alongside its neighboring Venice Beach, a paradise for surfers and bodybuilders, is a must-see for anyone who wants to live the essence of California.
Well, it's awfully hard being country in California.
Thanks to film and television, everything on these beaches is familiar to us. And we can't help visiting the pier and tour the attractions trying to locate Zoltar, the famous fortune teller. We would like him to grant us one wish, for everything to go well in our adventure. In exchange for a coin, of course.
I see you over there. Yes, you. Come on over and let Zoltar be sharing with you your fortune.
I never thought much about embarking on hiking. I rather dreamed of traveling around South America as a backpacker or signing up for volunteering in Africa. But the beauty of the paths as well as life is that they both are unpredictable. For us, Santa Monica's pier will never be the end of Route 66, but the first stop on a journey that begins today and will take us on the great routes on foot in the world.
Hello.
Awesome. Do you need the park map today?
No. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Pacific Crest Trail hikers are like migratory birds that, depending on the season, go either north or south, but always crossing the mountains of the U.S. West Coast from the Canadian border to Mexico. More than 2,000 miles on foot through virgin natural landscapes. 5 months sleeping outdoors under the stars or camping wherever nightfall finds them.
We don't have 5 months to hike it, so we decided to start in Yosemite Natural Park, where the primitive path of John Muir starts off, which crosses the 3 great natural gems of the American West, Yosemite, Kings Canyon, and Sequoia National Parks, to then head south across the endless desert towards Mexico.
If you're planning on doing the Pacific Crest Trail, you definitely have to do your research. Your concerns are water, energy management, and as far as if you have any electronics, you have to manage that, and food. How do you get food? It's more of a management issue on the PCT, and water's a big issue.
In my backpack's everything I need to live. I have a tent, a sleeping pad, a sleeping bag, all of my food. Usually that's for like 4 or 5 days, sometimes more, sometimes less. Miscellaneous things that make me comfortable, clothes, a toothbrush, a knife.
We're ready to pitch and strike our tents every day, to carry the cameras and everything we need to survive on our backs, to use the compass and spend entire weeks out of cell phone range. It's hard not being able to record every second, but we have to save every minute of battery.
Mi nombre es Vanessa González, vivo en Las Vegas actualmente con mi esposo y mi ocupación es ser intérprete. Quería despejarme un poco de mi trabajo y dije, ¿por qué no caminar el Pacific Crest Trail? Y decidí hacerlo sola y tengo el apoyo de toda mi familia. Al inicio decía, no, pero vas a ser tú sola, ¿cómo es posible? Digo, pero hay muchas personas que lo hacen, muchas chicas que lo hacen solas y todo está bien. Les dije, ustedes no tienen de qué preocuparse porque compré un GPS, un navegador, el cual a través de un plan les envía un mensaje, les da un mapa para que puedan rastrearme. Al final del día les envía a ellos el mapa de dónde estoy. Llevo... El 26 de octubre serán 4 meses caminando.
I think about the people who do this trail on their own. We can encounter a bear at any time or get injured in the mountains. At night, our water freezes and all this weight is too much. This trail is a real survival challenge.
You can feel like you have absolute control over a situation, but anything can knock you off your rails. Yeah. So if you want a recommendation of how to do this more successfully, be humble. Don't think that you know everything. Don't think that you're the most capable, badass person out in the world, because you're not. You're a loser, just like everybody else. So you just have to accept that there are downside risks to everything and to approach a situation with respect.
Well, I knew that the PCT was a trail that had a lot of different environments. We've got the desert, there's high mountain, and then up north in Washington and Oregon, there's volcanoes and lots of different scenery. So that was the main reason, and that's what I expected and I found. But it's just been also so much more. The culture and the people have really made the PCT so much more of a complete experience than I expected.
I have doubts about whether we are prepared for what lies ahead. Although we like hiking, we are not trekking experts like the thru hikers who managed to do the full PCT in a row. The path has already brought us surprises. Although we avoided the high peaks of the north, today we were caught in the first snowfall. It's tough and beautiful at the same time.
Claro, esto no es para todos. Lleva mucha preparación, tanto física como mental, y hay personas que se preparan, otros que no. En mi caso, yo me gusta correr, entonces sí estuve corriendo antes de iniciar, yendo a caminatas a la montaña de 2 o 3 semanas, entonces también eso me ayudó a prepararme y determinar si es algo que podía hacer por un largo tiempo. La sierra está nevada, entonces tienes que prepararte con los zapatos adecuados y también tienes que prepararte para proteger tu comida de los osos, porque esta sección hay bastantes osos y cualquier olor los atrae a tu comida. Creo que sentí miedo 2 o 3 veces por la noche, pero después digo, ¿a qué le tengo miedo? Tener miedo a lo que no puedo ver. A lo que puedo ver, pues, puedo hacer algo al respecto.
In areas with a lot of bears, it's mandatory to store all food in safe metal boxes. It's totally forbidden for tourists to leave in their cars anything that gives off a smell, because the bears can pull open the doors to get food. Therefore, hikers carry a special canister to prevent such attacks in areas where there are no safe boxes.
I talked to other hikers and they've seen all sorts of animals, and I've seen a lot of deer, quail, everything. And the major concern has been bears. And I saw one bear, and it was about 3/4 of a mile away, walking up this hill, and that was it. And all these other people have seen these bears real close. It could be dangerous. The whole trail has just been outrageous. It's just been a incredible experience, and the scenery is gorgeous. I am just completely amazed by California.
The PCT can be done in 2 directions depending on the time of year in which you walk it. Northbounders depart from the Mexican border and go to Canada in the spring months to walk the high northern parks without much snow. Southbounders start on the Canadian border in the summer and walk south to reach the Mexican border in late fall, when temperatures in the desert are milder.
Every 100 or so miles, often there will be a marker. Either there will be a wooden post that says the mileage for each direction, or there will be like people will make out of stones just on the ground something that says like 2,400, 2,500, 2,600. The people make a big point out of the 100-mile marks.
Bueno, uno de los momentos más emocionantes para mí fue llegar a... Oh my God. Me da mucho sentimiento porque no creí que iba a llegar a ese punto. Y ese punto es el más alto de todo el camino. Se llama el Pase de Forester y es 13,000 pies. 13,000 pies. Llegué a ese punto y estaba contenta, lloré de felicidad. Y lo mejor de todo, claro, que no llegué ahí sola. Llegué con 2 chicas más y un perrito. Y estábamos muy contentas las 3. Nos dio gusto llegar ahí, nos sentimos súper felices y poderosas porque logramos llegar ahí con la mochila. Fue un momento súper especial, sí.
I've been hiking about 20 miles a day, every day on average for the last 4 months. In the past month, since I got into the desert section, it's a little bit higher. It's more like 25, because at the beginning it was lower. You meet so many people on the trail, and if you just know that somebody's name is Matt, that's not really memorable and you'll forget it. So everyone on the trail gets a trail name at some point, either from something notable about their character or something that they did. My trail name is Pacemaker, 2 words. I was told I was making a good pace. There was a day in the Smokies on the Appalachian Trail when there was a group of guys who were just like single file, like tromping along behind me. And I kept asking them, hey, like, if anyone wants to pass me, go ahead, let me know. And they were like, no, you're making a good pace. And it was a funny wording. It was a little weirder than saying you're setting a good pace, but it stuck. It was memorable.
For me, the best thing on the trail, live the highest highs and the lowest lows with amazing people and friends that you only just met. The worst part is watching all those people gradually leave and wondering if you'll ever see them again, because you form really close, intimate bonds with people and then all of a sudden they're gone. And that's okay, because that's just life.
I wanted to do the Pacific Crest Trail starting when I think I was 19, I'm 25 now. I got on my first trail crew in Oregon and I met some thru hikers. I was clearing trails for them and they just had like this look on their face, like they were little kids or something. They were super happy and I just knew that I wanted to feel that way. And like being from the West Coast, hiking the American West was a big dream of mine. Just to see it and to walk through it is different than driving or flying. It's like you're actually a part of the landscape instead of just passing through it. Like every day, you're outside and you're just surrounded by beauty and it feels really free. And then at the same time, that's like sometimes one of the hardest parts and the worst part is that it gets really boring. Because you're just sitting there and walking every day looking at your feet. But that's a part of it too.
We get up every day before the sun rises and walk all morning. But there are times when we find such beautiful places that we decide to stop and enjoy them. The only plan we must follow is to find a suitable place to camp in time, to be sure that we can set up the tent in daylight.
Cuando llego a un pueblo, lavo la ropa, pero cuando no hay oportunidad de llegar a un pueblo, la pongo en un envase, tomo agua del río, la pongo en un envase o en una bolsa de plástico y ahí lavo mi ropa. Después el agua la vacío en la tierra, no puedo lavar mi ropa dentro del río debido a que la gente bebe de esa agua. Entonces no puedo bañarme tampoco ahí, aunque algunas personas lo hacen, ¿verdad? Pero yo prefiero no hacerlo. Entonces de esa manera lavo mi ropa y a veces tardo tiempo sin bañarme, sin lavar mi ropa, pero está todo bien, es parte de la aventura.
After days away from civilization, there are some places where hikers can finally shower, buy fresh food, pick up mail, or rest for a few days if needed. These places are meeting points on the way for hikers.
Autumn forces us to walk fast in a southern direction as the snow will make the mountains impassable soon. So it's been several days since we last saw someone. Although we know from the records that there are several groups ahead of us and some behind.
Mientras estás caminando, normalmente duermes en el monte, sí. Pero hay secciones como esta, como Kennedy Meadows, donde puedes acampar gratis, donde son hiker friendly. Hay siempre una caja especial para todos los hikers. Se llama en inglés hiker box y está allá atrás. Es donde todos los hikers dejan ya sea la comida que no quieran ya o el equipo, cualquier cosa que ellos ya no necesiten, entonces lo ponen ahí y cuando llegan los siguientes hikers pueden recogerlo de ahí sin problema alguno. Están caminando las mismas millas que tú, entonces empiezas a crear esta familia.
In the wilderness, I definitely found the scenery and the beauty that I was looking for, but I also found just a sense of camaraderie with everyone else and real friendships as well.
He didn't know what
what the PCT was?
I think it's most.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Antes de iniciar el camino, preparé mi calendario para darme una estimación de cuándo iba a estar en cada lugar. Bueno, hubo una preparación de alrededor de 7, 8 meses de preparación. A otras personas les toma más tiempo, un año. 8 meses es muy rápido, pero logré hacerlo. En mi mochila llevo mi tienda de campaña, mi bolsa para dormir, la comida, algunas cosas extras, mi colchón inflable, más que nada es importante, y mi filtro para filtrar agua, mi panel solar para cargar todos mis teléfonos, mi lámpara para la noche. Un cambio solamente, hay que ser lo más ligero posible. Compré mi comida a tiempo, lo preparé en cajas con la ayuda de mi familia para que ellos pudieran enviarme las cajas de comida a las secciones donde iría a resurtir en cada pueblo que estuviese cerca del camino. Lo que elijo es comida deshidratada, solamente le añado agua. Para mí es mejor opción ya que es un poco más ligera y en cada caja venía una sorpresa, ya sea una carta o ya sea algunos dulces que me encantan, preferidos, favoritos. Especialmente mi mamá me enviaba lo que me gustaba bastante. Y sí, sus cartas me han apoyado, me han servido bastante para seguir en el camino. Tú puedes, mija, tú puedes. Que es lo que recuerdo a veces cuando voy subiendo una montaña y escucho su voz, eso que dice en la carta, y me da mucho ánimo para seguir. Porque a veces es difícil, se siente uno solo. Aunque le guste a uno hacer esto, de todas maneras, a veces se siente solo.
The Mojave Desert is getting closer and closer, and we have already left over all the winter clothes. But at night we need them again because the temperature drops. Sometimes fatigue and monotony are overwhelming. But at the same time, we begin to feel that we are part of a family, the hiker's family, and that gives us strength.
The book and film Wild made the Pacific Crest Trail famous, and since then hundreds of people hike it. But not everyone is able to finish it. Physical problems, extreme temperatures, or food and water shortages force many to give up. That's why the figure of the Trail Angels was born, volunteers who care about helping and protecting hikers.
There are people out on this trail whose primary existence is to help the hikers. A lot of people are reticent about asking for things. Well, through this whole process, you are asking for rides. You're asking for help in certain ways, and that is, you're no longer completely, you're sort of self-sufficient, but you're not completely self-sufficient because you still depend upon people to help you. And there are so many people out there that are just giving, that are so generous and giving that they do it because they want to do it.
So the area that you're in at the moment is Neenah, California, and pretty much at the end of the Mojave Desert. Most of the hikers, when they've gotten here, they've dealt with a lot of the desert, and they come in usually pretty parched. If I was to advise anybody about anything going into the desert, is carry as much water as you can. and not expect any of the water caches to have actual water.
The hikers come through, it's really nice. Some of them come from really far places, from Canada to Mexico. We have a board in there, and they put a pin where they come from. Some come from Madagascar, that's how far they come from. And they're nice people. Some are okay, some are not. You have bad ones, you got good ones. But at the end of the day, what is nice, they're trying to get through a mission, and it's hike all that, and it's dangerous. So when they stop over here, it's nice to see different people come from around the country just to land in one spot.
Most people do, and it's a pretty good idea to have a goal and try and meet it. And it's a difficult one, and I don't think that they expect it to be as difficult as it is, because the drop-off is huge. Not having water is a definite problem. This is the desert. We're actually about a mile or so down the road from Hiker Town, which is where the hikers stop for, you know, camping out and hanging out and whatnot. Like, there's nothing else out here.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
Good. Welcome here, hikers.
Amazing place.
Thank you. Oh, you look like you've had a hard hike. Well, come on in. We'll get you something to drink and a
Thank
place to
you.
stay.
So tell me, how does this works?
Everybody gets a room and a bed and a shower. No cost. It's just, you know, if you want to leave a donation, that's fine.
Mhm.
But $10, $20 sometimes. Sometimes nothing. My name is Bob Mayon, and I'm the caretaker here at Hiker Town. I run Hiker Town, deal with all the hikers coming through. And before I came here, I lived in Hollywood all my life and worked at the studios, setting up TV shows, live shows. I've got 3 technical Emmys. One for the Academy Awards, one for ER Live, and another one for, oh, I can't remember the name of the show. So long ago. And Richard asked me, I met Richard came in there and said, hey, I got a place on the trail here. Do you want to come live there? And I go, sure, I'll get out of Hollywood. Been there all my life, Hollywood High School. And just, you know, it's not like it used to be Hollywood. Like that's my mother there and her sister and my mom when she was singing in the 1920s and they doing shows. My dad was a dancer and they'd dance in all the countries over in Europe. And we built this room here. I have a camera on all the gates so I can see when the hikers come in, if I'm in here on the computer. Yeah, Richard loves the hikers. And he'd let the hikers, he has a Ferrari too, he lets the hikers take the Ferrari to the store. He loves old cars. He's got 5 Rolls Royces and 2 Ferraris.
I'm Shelly, and Richard, I would be Kiddo, is what he calls me, which I love because my family's not out here, so that's an endearing term. But I'm the resident hippie. I do a little bit of hosting, but it's only because I like to talk to the people. But other than that, this is my corner. Before I lived here at Hiker Town, actually, I'm kind of a rescue. I lived just in the middle of the desert in a fifth wheel, like 6 years. No water, no running water, no electricity or anything. Well, Richard, I had the good fortune of meeting him and asked him about painting here at Hiker Town, and he said that I could come stay here.
Hospitality is one of the hallmarks of this trail, and also the chance to share moments with the people we meet on the adventure.
With this Mexican food, amazing. Thank you very much. Yo me hago huevos en su jugo, albóndigas de pescado, albóndigas de pollo, albóndigas de res, chile relleno. Pero ¿sabes por qué le digo que coma? Porque ella se mete, no ir por paint, está toda pinche marihuana con los pinches chingados pomos. Y que le digo, no, primero come y luego pues haces. Do you understand her?
Yeah. I understand her because I understand like body language.
Because you have a lot of empathy.
Yeah.
Yo quiero que no me vea como una amiga, sino como ella quiere verme, porque yo me preocupo, porque no tiene a nadie aquí. Solo ahorita le dije, ya me tienes a mí. ¿Está, mija?
Yes. And the same.
No necesito yo platicar mucho con ella para saber que vale la pena. Ajá. Yo sé que ella no le gusta unas cosas y la respeto y otras que como le doy su tiempo.
So I'm from Edinburgh, the capital city of Scotland, and I've been walking since July the 1st, so that's about 3 months and 13 days now. So I got in here last night, just stopped over to sleep, and then was here this morning, and I'll be hiking on out in a few minutes. So this little place is Hikertown, I suppose, and it feels like a little Hollywood type set, and it's completely different from anything else I've seen on the trail. It's a bit weird. It's just in the middle of the desert, but it's fun, it's cool, everyone's nice.
I've heard they say that artists look at things through different eyes, that people will see something as what it is, and an artist will see things as what they could be. It's like, I don't wear rosy-colored glasses all the time. I know what's in the world. I know that there's dark things, and I've been through a lot of them. But I choose to think of things can be more beautiful. You know, you can see if anybody just took a moment to look at something that just the attitude that things can be prettier. So it's really exciting to be a part of that.
I live in a ghost town.
Although our plan was to spend just one night here, we decided to wait for the return of the founder of Hikertown, as everyone here speaks to us with fascination about that man and his project.
Hikertown is a makeshift hotel, which is it has a lot of theme. You know, hikers can stay there. There are different rooms which are very theme-like. Some of them look like a church. Some of them look like a barber shop. Could be another saloon or a bar, and they stay there for free. Owner of Hikertown and owner of the cafe, which is us, he's been a very successful businessman when he was younger, and up to now, all he wanted to do is give back to the community.
Él cada semana tiene meetings.
¿Qué son meetings? Reuniones.
Reuniones. Es más, Schwarzenegger, ¿cómo se llama?
Schwarzenegger.
Arnold
Ese. Bueno, él me lo llevó allá.
Bueno, no sé si lo
el gobernador de Sacramento.
Es verdad que era gobernador aquí.
¿Y quién más vino?
¿Y quién más? ¿Quién decías? ¿Eddie Murphy?
El negrito, el que la hacía de Big Mama. Y luego otro, pero la verdad, ese no me acuerdo cómo se llama, pero la hacía en una película curiosa, pero el gemelo, era twins, con alguien en la movie. Porque él tiene todavía, ¿te acuerdas las movies de antes? Todavía tiene, ese es el estudio que él tiene allá.
Richard is a Hollywood producer. He produced the Gone in 60 Seconds, 1976, I believe, the original Gone in 60 Seconds with Toby Halaki. And then it was remade by Nicolas Cage. And he also produced The Sky is Falling. It's all about acid rain in 1979. And he got an award there. And then, as you can see, all the posters, most of them Richard worked with. It's either with the director or with the producer or with the actors. If you will look at Richard, you will not think that he's a producer or he been to many presidents, met. If you will look at him, he will look like an ordinary Joe, ordinary American Joe.
I'm Richard Skaggs. We started Hikertown in 2003. To describe me, I don't know. I mean, I've done everything I wanted to do. I served in the United States Marine Corps in the Air Wing. I have enjoyed that. I worked at most of the studios, including Sam Goldwyn's studio. And my wife and I both worked at Disney. She was my boss. And if you look at Hikertown, you can see it's part of Hollywood. Everything we did here is more like props, and the props turned to be places where the hikers can stay. We woke up one morning, we found hikers in our front yard. And we had no idea when we bought the property that we were trail angels. And my wife kind of adopted the hikers because their dream was to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. So we wanted to be part of that and help them. And so since '03, we've been helping the hikers with their goals. The goal is to do the Pacific Crest Trail. And so that's how we started.
Criticized for the way we would talk and the dirt that they saw in our hands.
Hikertown is a peculiar oasis in the Mojave Desert. From here, although hikers feel that the end is getting closer, the truth is that there are still 500 miles to the border with Mexico.
We continue on our way, leaving behind a part of our hearts in this place forever. And we walk again into the mountains. We don't know when we'll see the next sign again.
Everybody has a reason, for sure. You know, you don't just do it just because. And the planning and all of that stuff that it takes to get on this trail is, I mean, just in itself, that's a mission in itself. But I think that everybody, no matter what the mission was starting out, I think everybody I've talked to, they say they're scared in the beginning. Not scared, but they question, why? Why? Every day, why did I leave the comforts of my own home? It doesn't take long before all of that falls away. I mean, everybody has a reason.
I love hiking. If you love something, you just find yourself immersed in it. And this is one of the best ways to get immersed. Look at this place. This is insane. You know, there's this crazy culture and community around it, and if you discover it, if you discover an island that you love, you get back on that damn boat and get on the island. I just like to live outside, and you know, why do you guys do media? Because you love it. It's just what you do.
We are astonished that in the California of big cities and highways, the trail leads us towards the border, keeping us immersed in nature at all times. The days are long, and the shared silence at night is one of the best gifts of this adventure.
You know, it's funny, people always ask me, like, how has the trail changed you, or like, what are you expecting of your, like, transformation? And for me, I never, like, started walking the trail to, like, change, but I do feel like I've become, like, closer to who I am, like, closer to myself, as opposed to, like, something that's different than what I was before.
The only way to prove that the hiker has completed the path is total honesty. The association that makes the maps and cares for the Pacific Crest Trail keeps track of the hikers to ensure their safety, but their logbooks do not guarantee they hike the entire trail. There are hikers who, after finishing the trail, certify that upon completion they have retraced their steps to complete the full round trip, a feat known as the yo-yo.
Lo peor del camino es cuando extrañas a tu familia. Sí. Cuando te sientes muy solo y quieres que estén ahí y abrazarlos, creo que eso ha sido lo más difícil también, ya. Y o cuando sufres una lesión también, que no puedes caminar, no puedes seguir, que tienes que tomar esa decisión tan difícil, ¿verdad? De que no puedo seguir y quiero llegar hasta el final. Pero sí, he visto a hikers que han tenido que terminar a las primeras 500 millas y ya no pueden. Entonces, creo que eso es lo más difícil, sí. el tomar esa decisión que dices, oh, o continúo o termino aquí, ¿qué es más importante, aquello o yo? ¿Verdad? Entonces creo que eso ha sido un poco tomar la decisión y también sentirse a veces solo.
The PCT is one of the trails that make up the so-called Triple Crown, alongside the Appalachian Trail and the Continental Divide Trail, the longest trails in the United States, a feat reserved for very few. Although the most important thing for us is not the distance traveled, but the experiences we are living during the journey.
I guess for me, the great way has always been to just feel really grateful for where I am. And when that is like something you feel on a regular basis, it's hard not to be happy. So, yeah.
If you're doing what you love, then it doesn't matter what people think. It just really matters what you think. And ultimately, that is your great experience and your great way.
Yeah, for me, happiness is right now just being free. I have no commitments, I have no job, I have, nothing to go back and do. So I can choose to walk as many miles a day as I'd like. I am really happy with the people I've met who really, sort of helped me along this journey. And I'm just happy that I've made it and I've reached the goal that I set out to reach.
It's hard to recognize happiness when you're happy. It's like you have water in your hand and you want it really bad and you want happiness. And so you grip it tighter and tighter. But the tighter you grip happiness, the quicker it slips through your fingers. It's not an easy concept to hold. But out here, when you live in the present, that's all it is. Happiness is being in the present.
Hello. How are you?
Finally, we're going to finish it.
Excellent.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I am exhausted.
Having breakfast?
Yeah, I thought I could eat an entire pint of ice cream. It's been about 3 weeks since Hikertown. I have about 1.5 miles left to get to the Mexican border. So today I'm gonna hike for another half hour or something, and then I'm done. Well, I gotta walk back here. The desert is really interesting because you are in the mountains for a couple of days at 8,000 feet, and then you have to descend back to 1,000 or 1,500 to go through a section of desert, and then you climb back up. And so it's been a lot of fun. It's been really beautiful. It's also just been very exhausting and very cold at night. How are you guys?
Can you not afford a razor or something?
Oh, goodness. As I was saying, I smell really bad. So let's imagine that we're going to hug. And these are the Spaniards I mentioned. I've been hiking on my own or on and off with different people, but I've got some friends from San Diego who agreed to come out and join me here for the last 1.5 miles of the trail. I feel great. It's a real accomplishment. It's also a big relief that I am so happy to be going home and not hiking 20 miles tomorrow. It feels good. It also feels really good to just be done.
Quieres llegar hasta el final, pero también si no te sientes bien, como me siento un poco cansada, me he sentido un poco sin baja de energía, un poco débil y también un poco mareada. Entonces, en este momento estoy pensando si voy a continuar o si voy a dejarlo por completo o si solamente voy y descanso un par de días a casa y regreso de nuevo. Por lo menos sí quisiera llegar a las 2,000 millas por si acaso no puedo regresar y completar el camino. Entonces con 2,000 millas estaré contenta. Pero al mismo tiempo digo, qué afortunada soy de estar aquí. No todos tienen esa oportunidad.
thinking about the end. You're trying to figure out what this whole experience has been, and your conclusions are going to be completely different than mine. When you do any of the long trails, you have to realize that you're day in, day out, you're accomplishing something that not everybody accomplishes, and your life will change. Your outlook on life will change. The way you deal with people is definitely going to change. And just be open to that, because after this is all said and done, when it's over, you will approach people differently. You will approach each day differently. And hey, enjoy the ride. Get out and enjoy what nature has for you, because it's always here, but just get out and enjoy it. And hey, you'll get a little exercise and maybe lose a little weight.
That is the monument.
Vini Vinci?
It ain't like the Canadian border. Canadian border, you could just walk right across. You have to fill out some form in advance, but as long as you fill out that form and have your passport with you, the Canadians won't give you a hard time. The US does not allow people to fill out a form and walk right in. I made it! All right, most important part. If I don't do this, it doesn't count. Are you married to the wall now? I'm married to the trail. I made it. The Canadian border definitely, I think, is a more appropriate place to finish, because you're in the wilderness and because it feels more like wilderness and it's open and you can just walk into Canada. Finishing here is a little bit strange.
A mile marker on the dividing line between the American and Mexican Californias brings to an end one of the most extreme adventures that can be accomplished in the United States. San Diego, very close to the end of the trail, is the city that brings us back to the real world.
We arrived in San Diego on Day of the Dead, a very special date for the people in this place that helped us endure the bittersweet feeling that left us finishing the Pacific Crest Trail on a wire fence. San Diego is a peculiar place, the crossroads of many lives. Here, the differences between South and North are blurred, and we live in first person the fact that no border can prevent cultures from mixing.
Another trail also ends on the Mexican side of the wall, that of those who cross the desert out of necessity, but the border prevents them from continuing. And yet the walking essence of human beings can't be limited by any wall. Fences always end somewhere.